Morning, everybody. Welcome to Lock Pod Season 6 finale. This is your favorite podcast. We're doing well in Belgium, decently.
Did you just say finale?
It is the finale.
I was wondering why John and Jill were just smiling ear to ear this morning, and now it all makes sense.
Yeah, everybody's
finale.
happy. Everybody's happy.
John's like, John?
So good. I just thought it was funny how there was actually some preparation during the intro about the show. Like heartfelt preparation.
We got to give it to him on the last episode.
We're bringing it hard.
I've never seen anything like it.
Bringing
I've got
hard.
tons of supporting articles. You guys are talking about, all right, what should the emotion be like when we go live? And
it's an arc.
Fantastic.
It's an arc.
It is an arc. It's like
People
a movie.
don't even realize we're arcing you every show.
The soundboard that John promised he'd have up this season is up on
ready
to
gotta
go.
leave him wanting more.
Wait till we get
You
like
what?
Gotta leave him wanting more.
Oh, we're gonna bring it hard today, and then we're gonna go away for a month plus, and you guys are gonna be missing us.
We've got a lot to talk about today. I mean, we've got a great guest coming on after 8 o'clock, another mayor.
Yeah.
Mayor Emily Styron from Zionsville. She's going to come on after the 8 o'clock hour.
She's the fucking mayor of Zionsville.
Yeah, just ask her.
Yeah.
Just ask her.
I was hoping you were gonna say John Mayer, but
Yeah.
Well,
she'll work too.
Yeah.
Emily Styron's great.
She is great, and we're honored to have her as our season 6 finale, final guest. And Mayor Emily made headlines. First off, she made headlines by becoming the first woman mayor of Zionsville,
And I think first Democratic mayor of Zionsville.
and the first Democratic mayor of Zionsville, turning a red, city in a red county blue. And so she made, and she's in her first term, and so she made waves doing that. And I was looking at her cabinet, getting ready for the interview today, all women, and I know she's super proud of our ticket, all women. I hope she's not mad at me for fouling up the ticket by being a man.
I think it's fine.
But looking forward to talking to Mayor Emily. And she
Sprinkling
made
in some
headlines.
men.
She made headlines a couple weeks ago. Actually, probably about a month and a half ago. We talked about it on Lockpod where she was responding to.
Let's just say she went off on someone.
She did. It was about the Uvalde mass shooting.
We're going to get into that when she comes on. So stay tuned for Mayor Emily Styron from Zionsville. She's going to be in after 8 o'clock. So what else happened? Well, there's a lot going on in the news, but I found this to be at least a little bit light. So let's start a little light, John.
Let's start light because
Before
we're
we
gonna,
get to
we're
that.
not.
Yeah, because there's a lot to get to. We're going to get to the assassination in Japan and all kinds of other stuff that's pretty heavy. But this was in my opinion, a great tweet. I know John's probably going to come after me about this, but I found this on Twitter. What's the guy's name? Stone Kettle, at Stone Kettle tweets the following. I don't know what fireworks cost nowadays, but apparently they're cheap enough that all of my dirt poor redneck neighbors who, quote, can't afford gas, let's go Brandon, can buy enough to spend 3 days exploding them into the sky for 8 hours every night. John?
Is he implying poor Democrats can't buy fireworks or aren't shooting them off?
I just think he's picky. I mean, he doesn't have poor Democrats next to him. He said poor redneck neighbors. Maybe he's surrounded by.
Fair enough. Yeah. I just thought it was a little tilted.
It may be. I mean, this is,
Where's
we're
Stone
left
Kettle
of center
from?
a little bit.
Where is Stone Kettle from?
I don't know.
I
This
don't know,
is a
man, but
screenshot.
He's like Alabama or
I
something.
feel like
like
there
that.
should be banjo music in the background.
Can't afford gas. Let's go. Brandon can buy enough to spend 3 days exploding them. There's a lot of that going on.
Oh my! I've never heard so many fireworks in my neighborhood.
Really?
Really?
Agree.
I thought it was down this year.
I agree.
Oh.
I thought I didn't
my
hear
area.
it.
In
Like
my-
usually, like the week leading up is constant explosions.
Yeah.
And it was limited to July 3rd and 4th, which is
the rain,
legal.
I love the fact that it poured down rain a little bit on. I think it was on the 4th where that just mellowed everybody
Well,
out.
the 3rd I thought was actually pretty loud, and then the 4th was pretty loud also. But that was it. Usually it's like a week beforehand. And where we live, everybody, we have legal fireworks. Basically, you could explode a bomb. in
Yeah, have
Indiana.
at it.
You want to buy a bomb? No problem. Just don't be buying that devil's lettuce. You know?
That's right. Come on over. Blow your hand off.
Blow your hand off, no problem. Another, by the way, a little kid died this week. He was an 11-year-old blowing off a mortar.
Yeah, there you go.
Took one to the face in front of his family, which is, I stopped shooting off fireworks.
When that happened to a guy in Chesterton, I think.
I don't know if it was Chesterton. It was close, though. And
Yeah, maybe
it was
over.
the same exact stuff I was blowing off. It didn't go off, and he looked over the top to make sure didn't go off, and then it went off. And it blew his head off.
John
In front
found
of his
some-
family.
Never a good idea to put your face in the direct line of a firework.
No. People don't realize they're probably more powerful than a shotgun. And it's like you wouldn't put your face in front of a shotgun.
No, you would not.
No.
I'm more glad 4th of July fireworks are over, not because of the noise, but guys, I'm not kidding. My dad starts texting like 3 months in advance, like, I heard fireworks.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. And just every day for like 3 months.
You know what sucks about being a mayor, and I'm going to talk to Mayor Emily about this, is and whenever something like that happens, and it's been legalized by the state of Indiana, and they don't give mayors or city councils any authority whatsoever to regulate fireworks.
That's right.
So when fireworks are sold in our city and they're bought, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth, millions of dollars worth are purchased every year, and then they blow them off illegally, who do the residents get mad at?
Yeah.
They're like, this mayor sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how about give the mayor some power so I could regulate this thing? My residents don't like them.
Why aren't the police doing more?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like we have all the time in the world to be running around somebody blowing off a firecracker.
10,000 people are blowing off.
Right.
Right.
It's ridiculous. So like people get mad at the mayor, and then the governor and the General Assembly
Give
are the
you
ones,
no tools.
and they're the ones that started this problem in the first place. It's sort of like the gun
Won't
problem.
even let you locally tax the fireworks.
Right, or why? I'd rather just
Get
quite
rid of 'em,
frankly,
yeah.
I don't like them. I think they're dangerous. And
Well,
by the way, Hammond Police Department responded to like 3 fires on the 4th of July that were caused by fireworks. So it costs us money because I have to. By the way, we're also the lucky recipients of all the freaking garbage that the fireworks create. So we get to
Clean up
in everybody's
mess, 'cause
garbage.
why would anyone light off fireworks and
No,
actually
they
clean
leave them
up?
in parks. They leave them in parking lots, and we get to clean them up, and then we get to take all this shit to the dump, and we get to use Hammond taxpayer money to pay for getting rid of all this stuff, which is expensive. We can't tax it, we can't regulate it, and then I am also the lucky recipients of everybody that's pissed off about fireworks.
Why didn't you do more, Mayor?
And the governor and the General Assembly, the ones that created this problem, is just sitting there like rolling in the dough because they get all the money from the sale of the fireworks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the fireworks lobby is a strong one. And being a border city doesn't help either.
No.
The traffic that comes in from Illinois, and folks come in and all they do is buy fireworks and then they leave. And
Don't get me started about fireworks.
I know
This is
I know.
a perfect example of how I was just talking with my dad about this last night. We, all of us, Republicans, Democrats, have like no representation in Indiana.
No.
And this is one example. We hate the fireworks.
Everybody
Yeah,
hates
you can't do
hates
anything
them.
about it. We hate the new gas tax increase in Indiana. Don't do anything about it. No one has representation.
Let's
They're
vote
just-
them out, John. We need to vote them out.
100%
Seriously.
agree.
I know.
100%.
It's
Switch it
ridiculous.
around and see what happens. and maybe people
Conservative
will wake up.
or liberal, you have no representation in Indiana. They're just running their own show down there. It makes no sense.
I want to finish this
They
fireworks.
gerrymandered all the districts. They feel like they're untouchable, John. It's good. Indiana is one of the most gerrymandered states in the United States of America. So these pricks that draw these districts are sitting in safe seats and they're giving you the middle finger. They don't care.
Because they know they can't be beat.
They can't be beat because they pick their bosses. The bosses don't pick you. They pick the bosses. It's bullshit. The whole thing is bullshit.
Just in case anybody was interested in where Stonekettle's from, he reports that he's from Dinosaur Swamp, Venus.
That's
Okay.
that.
That's Trump country
Is
for
there
sure.
a pin on that?
Despair for the future of humanity. Whiskey is what he
Buy
refers to.
whiskey.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
Trump was big in Dinosaur Swamp, Venus. So.
Yeah.
All right, Mayor,
won
lead
that
us into
district.
what's going on in the world because
Well-
we woke up to some sad news.
Sad, shocking, but not so, unfortunately. I made comments plenty of times on Lockpod that what we're going through in 2020/2022, where we are now, this last few years has reminded me so much. I'm a student of history, and I love American history. Reminds me so much of the 1960s. The strife that we're facing as America, the divide that we're facing as America, and obviously very similar to a war-torn decade of the 1960s in the United States as well. Loss of faith in our president, just things like that. And I said it a number of times on this show, and I'm going to say it again. 2022 America reminds me a lot of the 1960s, outside of one thing I said, that in the 1960s, elected officials were getting assassinated. And then, unfortunately, we wake up this morning and we realize that an assassination took place in Japan. The former prime minister of Japan was killed with I guess it could be described as a ghost gun.
Yeah, so what I read, and Shinzo Abe, of course, he was prime minister for a long, long time. And this is interesting, right? The gun that was reported, pictures of it lying on the ground after the shooting show what looks like a homemade weapon. 2 bits of steel pipe stuck together with black gaffer tape with some sort of handmade trigger. Looks like something fashioned from plans downloaded off the internet. Yeah.
It's like a shotgun, right?
I guess, or maybe it's just I didn't see the picture of it, but it looks like it's
No.
homemade.
I saw a picture last night on Twitter. It's
More like
it's
a
very
pistol?
short.
Okay.
Very short.
Like
Yeah.
a rifle, then?
No, like a pistol, I
Like,
think
it
he's
was like
saying.
this
like that.
short.
Really?
It looked like a handgun.
Jesus.
2 barrels taped together. It was bizarre.
I mean,
We
just
got 2 shots off. The first shot, everybody stood there like, what the hell just happened?
Sure.
And then the second shot, that's when the equivalent of the Secret Service tackled the shooter. 2 shots into the neck area of Shinzo Abe, and
From behind.
From behind, and
Courageous, John.
he was alive in the ambulance heading to the hospital where he passed away.
So just to give you some sort of frame of reference in Japan, as you can imagine, gun crime doesn't exist there on average, or very
Guns
little.
are hard to get there.
Guns are hard to get there. You have to have no criminal record, mandatory training, psychological evaluation, extensive background checks, including police interviewing your neighbors. On average, there are fewer than 10 gun-related deaths in Japan each year.
In the country.
In the country.
Wow.
In 2017, there were 3.
In the country.
In the country.
So Hammond has more murders
Triple.
than Japan.
Yeah, last year you had, what, 10 or 9 or something like that, so you would have
Thanks for pointing that out.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just saying. It's a given.
Messing. I mean, it's
You know,
horrible.
and-
I hate it. And people, when you hear people that ran against me in the past and that will run for Hammond mayor in the future, and I'm not just talking about Hammond. I'm talking about Gary. I'm talking about Indianapolis. I'm talking about Chicago. I'm talking about any big city where there's crime, violent crime. When you hear people running for mayor, it makes me laugh because I'm an old mayor and I've been doing this a long time. People say
Seasoned. Don't say old.
Seasoned, sure. And they say, basically, if you elect me mayor, crime will go away. Mm-hmm. It's like, shut the hell up, you idiot. Like, anybody that thinks that I have control over crime in Hammond, one way or the other, by the way, the best thing I could do as mayor is make sure that our police department's fully funded, morale is high, we have good people running it. That's the best thing I could do to fight crime. Mm-hmm. And by the way, we are. I think the Hammond Police Department's humming. And then it's like a force out there on the street that tries to deter crime. But I can't. If I could control the crime rate, there'd be no murders in Hammond.
Well, I think specifically as it relates to murders, right? I mean,
you've
always
crime.
said...
it's an irrational act.
Right.
Like, if you're wired that way that I'm going to go kill somebody, you're an irrational person. You're a person that needs mental help, okay? And I can't control people that need mental help. And mental illness is a serious disease in our country, and there's a massive availability of guns. There's more guns on the street than there are Americans.
Yep.
So you have these two factors together with the fact that a lot of times when people commit violent crime, the Hammond Police Department's arrested that person close to a dozen times, and they've been released each time. So you get these 3 factors together, and that's a fact, John. Wow. I guarantee you, the last murder in Hammond, if you look at the person that we caught for committing that murder, we've arrested that person at least a half a dozen times. I'll guarantee you, I would bet $1,000 on it that I'm right on this. And unfortunately, each time we catch them, they go into the judicial system, they have to drop a couple $1,000s, and they're out on bond within minutes. It's freaking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And so you have the massive availability of guns, you have mental illness, and you have a broken judicial system. And then people are wondering why Hammond has more murders than Japan. It's not Mayor McDermott's fault. It's our freaking system is broken, and we got to fix it. And the only way, and you think we're going to fix it by sending Todd Young back for 6 more? All you're going to do is get Todd Young. If you give Todd Young 6 more years, you're giving Todd Young $6 million more from the NRA. He'll do nothing to help fix the crime rate in America. He's just going to go in there, sit on his hands, and send his thoughts and prayers. And I'm sick and tired of it. And you want somebody that's going to fight? I'm your guy.
I think what you just said just kind of like hit me again. I mean, I heard it the first time, and when you just said it in that piece, it really hit me, which is Hammond has more murders than the country of Japan.
Yeah. That means I'm a bad mayor, right?
Must be, right?
Well, that's what some people are going to say. I'm a bad mayor because Hammond has more murders than the country of Japan. Is that because Mayor McDermott's a bad mayor, or is our system broken?
Can you read those requirements again, Kevin, in
Sure.
Japan?
Yeah, sure. This is just general
To
requirements.
get a gun
John.
in Japan.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult. It requires no criminal record, mandatory training, psychological evaluation, and extensive background checks, including police interviewing neighbors.
So, like this,
I'll be honest. Some
this
of those
wacky
don't
kid,
sound, yeah.
this wacky kid. I'm sorry,
Never.
Right.
What were you going to say, John? That
Some of those don't sound unreasonable.
Agreed.
Agreed.
I've actually, when Phil likes to come at me as I'm a conservative. He just thinks I'm going to disagree with him and everything. But I've actually told Phil a lot. I don't think training, just basic handgun safety training, is unreasonable in order to get a gun. Think about it.
We want responsible gun owners.
What about the kid with the tattoos all over his face, and the kid that was obviously, he had multiple calls on him, for like threatening to kill people. If he has to go through the process you have to go through in Japan to get a gun, he would have never got a gun.
In Japan, he doesn't get a gun.
No way. And he can't kill a bunch of people in Highland Park.
Did you see that to get his the FOID card?
Yeah.
His you have to get a parental signature to
if
get
you're under 18.
Yeah, that's insane.
And his dad did it. His dad, who was a candidate for mayor, and then Channel 7 News Chicago interviews the guy yesterday, and he's so stupid. He's talking to the media. Like, he thinks he's going to minimize this, right? And he says, no, I don't regret getting my kid his
There
gun
you go.
idea. No, he's a very smart kid.
Have you seen your kid?
Something went
Have
wrong.
you looked at your kid?
Right.
Just look at him.
He
Come
is
on.
jacked up, dude. I hate to say it. Like, is he intentionally dressing up on what is that, Waldo? Where's Waldo?
I think so.
He was intentionally dressing
I
like
think
that,
so,
right?
for sure.
Or he has an uncanny resemblance to Where's Waldo.
He was doing Where's Waldo, and he was at a Trump rally.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean,
By
this
the way,
guy-
that is a reason right there not to give the guy a gun. If you're dressing up at a Trump rally as well, Where's Waldo?
Yeah, I mean, I just read this morning. I mean, it's horrific, right? I mean, you've got 7 people dead. I read today an 8-year-old's paralyzed from the waist down.
Saw
It's
that
just
last
it's
night.
terrific. And this
then
jackass
another
is
person-
dressing up as a woman and going up on a rooftop and shooting people at random. You know, it's ridiculous. So speaking of
So basically, society's broken, guys. And if you think that we're just going to, sit on our hands and send thoughts and prayers and this is going to get better, I don't agree with you at all. And I'm not going to say bad things about you. I'm just saying that I think it's time for Americans to step up. There's a lot of bad things happening right now. And quite frankly, when I see elected officials getting killed, it scares the shit out of me personally because I'm
You're
out
an
there.
elected official.
I'm out there on a stage talking about controversial issues and I don't want to get killed. Okay. But let's think about it. I'm out there talking about the Second Amendment, and it's something that's destroying America right now. Is because people's interpretation of the Second Amendment is I get to buy this semi-automatic weapon, and you can't touch that, and I could have extended clips that shoot 50 to 100 rounds, and this is all
Like
under
that.
my right, and this is my constitutionally protected right, and I beg to differ. What if I want to buy a bomb? I can't buy bombs. I can't buy grenades.
No. Molotov cocktails?
Right, and I'm a.
What else can I think of? I mean, I know it's
so
upsetting to
sad.
you. I know, and I know
It's
it
so
fires
sad.
you up.
I'm beyond words. I just don't know. The future of our country is scary to me.
Well, I want to bring something up before we. Or you want to do ads and come back? Because I want to do.
Sure.
I want to talk about your prediction on Monday and see what happens.
So
with it.
unfortunately, last show I said my prediction is between the last show and November 8th that America would have at least a dozen mass shootings.
So let's do some
I hate
ads.
saying that.
Let's do some ads and come back and see where we're at.
I'm horribly underestimated.
All right, let's see what we did.
All right, let's start. Misprint. Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and under budget. Misprint's experience in technology allows them to offer custom commercial on-demand printing, sign solutions, and...
Oh, last time of the year. Do it again. Wow.
Of the season.
I'm sorry. Last time of the season. Thank you, John.
We're going to have 3 more seasons before the end of the year.
I was talking to somebody the
Double
other day.
digits by December.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're like, well, what episode are you on? I'm like, season 6 finale. And they're like, wow, you've been doing it for 6 years? I'm like, no. We have a jacked up system for seasons. It's like Netflix.
It more fits into our vacation schedule.
Yeah.
It's more like
It's like Netflix.
our festival schedule.
Dude, we're going to be on like season 30 one time. People are going to be like, wow.
Man,
You
those
guys have
guys
been
look
doing this?
great for being on third for 30 years.
They're going to have no choice but to syndicate us across radio. This is the longest podcast
It's like
ever.
60 minutes.
Yeah, right? Lockpod, the beacon of truth. Rick Baltonsberger and his team have served Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana markets for over 30 years. Misprint has 2 convenient locations to serve you in Munster and in Hammond.
I saw Eli at the launch party last night for the festival. By the way, great stickers, Jill. These are really cool.
Yeah.
John, you got those? Those are awesome. So this will be the last time we hear Eli today, this season. Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard of Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortilla Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Eli.
I'm up, huh?
Oh, Jill's up.
I don't know.
I was looking at Mayor like, what?
I don't know what's going on. Joey Laxalinas Photography. After more than 10 years of traveling across the state of Indiana, Joey Laxalinas has captured photos of the historic downtowns of nearly every city and town in the entire state. If you're an elected official, lawyer, judge, or just someone who loves Indiana history and architecture, a framed and matted collage of any or all 92 courthouses can be purchased. All of Joey's work, including his Indiana University campus collection, can be found at joeylaxsalinas.com. Joey's also in the chat.
Oh,
Joey
nice, Joey.
Lax, that's Joey, Joeylax, Salinas.
Yes,
.com.
All right.
.com.
Thanks,
We
Joey.
saw him last night. He was taking some pics.
You know, I'm not very artistic, and I don't have a very good eye for this kind of stuff, but I know for a fact when I see Joey's stuff, I'm like, wow.
It really is impressive. I mean, like, you
He
see a
has an eye.
photographer, and you're like, man, this guy has a talent.
He makes Hammond's architecture look amazing, and I mean that's a talent.
Mm-hmm.
Not that Hammond's not pretty, but
No,
like,
but he knows how to. The lens he sees his photos through is amazing.
Calumet Brewing. Excuse me. Nearly 10 years in the making, Bud Light Next, our first zero-carb beer, is a result of a brewing breakthrough, making the impossible possible. Super crisp, super refreshing. Bud Light Next is a light lager with a 4% ABV and is brewed with the highest quality ingredients while containing only 80 calories, 0 grams of sugar, and 0 carbs. Here's to what's next. Head over to calbrew.com. That's CALBREW.com for more info. Cheers with beers.
You can have all those cheers with beers at the festival next week. I saw Cal Brew getting ready to set up and do their thing.
We'll do like 50 kegs a night
Whoa.
during the fest, and that doesn't count the vodka and the whiskey and everything else we pour. 50 kegs of beer, and on the big nights we'll do closer to 100.
It's a lot of beer.
It's a lot of it's like semis of beer.
Executive Suites 2, Executive Suites Squared, commonly known as ES2, is a first-class executive office environment located on 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue exit. ES2 offers flexible membership plans that provide the privacy of dedicated, fully furnished offices with 24/7 secured access. For more information on their basic or private office membership packages or to rent one of their state-of-the-art conference rooms, call them at 219-844-2901 or visit them at Executive Suites 2. That's Executive Suites, the number 2.com.
Oh, I'm doing
Yes.
Grizzoli's?
Yes, that's
What?
your neighbor.
My neighbor. Okay. Grizzoli's Concrete was voted #1 in the Times Best of the Region in 2020, 2021, and now 2022, and probably 2023.
Why
Honestly.
not?
It's a dynasty.
In season
Whatever.
11.
Is there another concrete company in Northwest Indiana? I don't know.
Whoa. What are you saying here?
I don't
Yeah.
know. I said I don't know.
We're gonna piss some people
Yeah.
off that were previous
Previous
Lock Pod.
li- well, that's should hey, get on board again.
Get on board.
Be a sponsor.
We
Get a
will-
hold of. By the way, Steve at lockpod.com.
Right.
If you want to be a sponsor
Steve's
next
still with
season.
us?
Yeah.
He's just collecting a paycheck.
Grizzoli's Concrete specializes in all concrete projects, and they've been using the original cement finish in the...
California style.
Oh man, this was it. The
Come
finale.
on.
You gotta feel
the
it. You gotta feel
finale.
Thank
you. There's what we've been missing for
People
months.
want
you
it,
gotta
man.
feel
Yes,
it. You gotta
people
feel it.
want that.
You gotta feel it. You know.
All right.
Do you think when the Grateful Dead go out and they're not feeling it, they show it?
I
No,
saw one
they
of their
give a
shows.
sh-
They mailed it in.
Oh,
on
really?
Tuesday, dude. Yeah. It was a mail-in show. You
Wow.
could tell. You could tell the difference when they're playing Chicago and they're playing Indianapolis. And all due respect to the capital city of our, but like they sort of mailed it in to the Noblesville show.
Maybe they
technically.
were
I
good in the
liked it.
first
I
half
liked it
before
too.
you got there.
The first half was not super like upbeat, and then the second half when we got there, they did space and drums, and they did like a 45-minute space and drums, and so like it was pretty
enjoyed
chill.
it.
I actually saw one of the reviews after they said the same thing. I was like, it was almost like they're
Yeah.
just taking the money and running. But I loved Grateful Dead. I loved Dead
God
and
love
Company.
'em.
But
Yes.
anyway,
I
yeah.
mean, anyway,
Chill.
call Bernie
Yeah,
at 219-659-4127.
we're giving you the right number.
Yes, use that. I saw a Grizzoli
Are you
concrete
sure that's the
truck
right number?
on my street.
That seems like the same number we've been giving out. The
No,
right
this
number.
is the right one. This is the correct
Should we
one.
call it on the air?
We tried that already.
Tom's gonna look in his pile of paper. Hold on.
I'll pull up one of the old Bernie Grisiola ads to see. All right, keep looking.
All right, keep looking. So that. Thank you, Jill.
That's it for me.
And thank you to all our sponsors. If you didn't get that, Steve at lockpod.com if you'd like to be a sponsor for season 7, 8, 9, or beyond.
4147 is the
Thank
old
you.
one. That's the
Don't
one
give
we
that
used to
one
get. Don't dial that one. Okay. All right.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
So in the last episode on Tuesday, Mayor Tom gave a prediction, and he said, "I predict there'll be 12 mass shootings before November."
November 8th. Saying
Yes.
that, like, we were talking about the recently passed gun legislation, which is thankfully that they did gun legislation and it's moving in the right direction. I don't think it did nearly enough personally, but I'm glad that we moved forward. And Todd Young, I'm glad that we've pressured him, my campaign, and the Hoosiers across Indiana pressured him into compromising, unlike the other senator, Mike Braun, who voted, against the bill. Todd Young voted as one of the 14
interesting.
senators to move forward.
He's in an election year, and Mike Braun's not.
Right. And quite frankly, Todd knows that it did nothing
Yeah.
to infringe on people's gun rights at all. Like, it really did nothing. It's more about patting each other on the back. They're like, hey, good for us. We passed gun legislation, and then we have a mass shooting like 2 days later.
Yeah, I think it's about him being able to go around Indiana and said, I did something.
He did,
and even
something.
though he didn't,
it's nothing.
Right.
I did something. That's nothing. But I did something.
He wants to be able to
symbolic.
stand on stage at some point, and maybe you're there, and you can say, well, I voted for the gun legislation.
It's symbolic.
Yeah,
I did something symbolic. It did
in
nothing
an election
in
year.
actuality in an election year, right? But I've heard from multiple people that the only reason he did that. I've heard this from multiple people. It's not Tom. They were saying, good job. You got that guy to fold on gun control.
Yeah.
And he voted for something, and he's going to have answer. He's going to have to answer to his hardcore Second Amendment base.
See what they think
why
of
he's
him.
compromising with a Democrat.
The pressure's on. So anyway,
So
go
we
ahead.
make the comment on the last show. I made the comment that between that day and Election Day, November 8th, 2022, there's going to be a dozen mass shootings across America. And as it turns out, I was horribly, horribly underestimating how many mass shootings are going to occur between now and November 8th.
John, can you throw that up? There's a website called Mass Shootings .site. Is that right, John? I think that's what it massshootingtracker.site.
Yep.
And let's just count up here from Highland Park. So we had one in Minneapolis, one in Denver, one in Queens, one in Oakland, one in Kenosha, one in Youngstown, one in Gary, one in Rochester, one in Steubenville, one in Chicago, one in Tampa, one in St. Cloud. That counts 12. Since Tuesday. Sorry, since you predicted.
In 3 days, we've had 12 mass shootings across America.
Starting on, I should say they started on, I guess, the 5th.
So basically,
or the 4th.
my estimation of 12 mass shootings was ridiculously underestimated. So probably between now and November 8th, let's let this soak in. If we're going to, the definition of a mass shooting is 4 or more people are shot.
Yeah, it's defined as a sudden outburst, a single outburst of violence where at least 4 people are shot. According to this site,
4 people are shot. Okay.
4 people are shot.
Because I've heard that it was 4 people died, but if this is what we're using, if we're saying a mass shooting is any time 4 people get shot, and not all of them have to die. Okay, like the one in Gary, multiple people were shot, but only
3 people dead.
3 people died.
7
that's
people
a tragedy.
injured.
7 people were shot. So it's a mass shooting under this website, right?
Yeah, easily.
Okay, and so between now and November 8th, if 4 or more people are shot, we'll have over 1,000 mass shootings between now and Election Day.
Yeah,
At
John,
least.
go back to that. Can you go back to that screen real quick? Because I think they actually at the top. So far in 2022, total shootings 374,
Okay.
shootings per day 1.98, killed 430, wounded 1566.
Yeah.
That's how many? So if there's 3 in Japan in 2017, that's only, I don't know, almost 150 times, and we're in July.
So this is an American problem.
Yeah.
I wonder what's going on in America. We must have way more mental illness than anywhere else, right? No, that's not right. We have just as much mental illness as other countries. We're just not dealing with it. And nobody thinks this is their problem until it's one of their family members that gets killed. It's not my problem. I guarantee you, all due respect to Highland Park and dealing with the tragedy, guarantee you in Highland Park there was a large segment of that population that strongly supported the Second Amendment that feels differently today.
I think that's right.
That feels differently now that there was a mass shooting in their town and people that they know got killed. And I guarantee you the number of people that supported the Second Amendment at all costs is changing because of the mass shooting that happened there. It shouldn't take a mass shooting to change your mind. This could happen to anybody in my family today. And you just don't know. It's like a bomb. It just goes off
Just
and you're
saying
dead.
that alone is, to me, is concerning. Because I agree with that. It could happen to anybody that we know today,
Right.
in America.
You could go to work, and then your workplace is national news because somebody with a semi-automatic weapon comes in there and kills everybody. It could happen in City Hall. It could happen anywhere, and it scares the shit out of me. And I want to do something about it, but you have a segment of society that's just so closed-minded. They're like, I'm sending Todd Young back because he protects the Second Amendment, but they don't realize Todd Young takes $3 million from the NRA, so it's lucrative for him, too. Todd Young's going to make millions of dollars if you send him back from the NRA. You think he's going to do anything? No.
Yep.
Nothing.
All right, so we got a couple more stories we want to get to before we get Mayor Emily, and we're getting close to when we want to get her on. So do you want to talk real quick
Let's
about
just do real quick.
this ordinance? And
Yeah.
I want to get Marjorie Taylor Greene on, and then I want to get Emily on.
I don't think we should do that. I think we should bring.
Oh,
on.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is great.
Why don't we finish the show with Marjorie, if you don't mind? I don't know. It just
It's
seems
a
like
good lead into her, I think. Well, let's just, all right, go ahead, do the ordinance.
the ordinance that we did. We'll just skim through this because
Sure.
I don't. This is a Hammond issue.
much planning.
We're floating an ordinance in the city of Hammond that makes it illegal to discharge a firearm in the city limits. which is a no-brainer. And celebratory gunfire, basically. On the 4th of July, you go out and you're like, I'm a patriot. Bam, 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 into the sky. And you're a rocket scientist, and you think that I just sent these bullets into orbit. But little do you realize those bullets go up in the air, and then they fall back down. And if you're the unlucky recipient of the bullet falling out of the sky, it'll kill you. It'll put holes in people's roofs. It happens. The Sportsplex has a number of holes in the roof, and that's where it came from, okay? So if you're on the other end of this celebratory gunfire, unfortunately, you hit the lotto, and you die. It just like what happened, unfortunately, to a 13-year-old Hammond resident named Noah Inman, who died while playing basketball in his alley behind his house, playing basketball on the 4th of July.
With his cousins at a family party.
And then he just dropped on the ground. No blood, nothing. Just dropped on the ground and died a few days later. Bullet impaled into his head.
Well, and we've brought this up before. There were efforts after that by both our then Representative Linda Lawson and then afterwards by our current Representative Carolyn Jackson and Mike Andrade to try to carry a bill to make it criminal. Didn't get a committee hearing.
Not a committee hearing. Why? Because you think Todd Young's the only one getting paid off by the NRA in Indiana? No. There's a number of legislators who want to get their share of the millions of dollars the NRA is handing out also. And you're not going to get a penny from the NRA if you even vote for anything. If you vote anything, they will punish you.
Think about what the suggestion was. In city limits, not in the middle of the country, not in rural Indiana. In city limits, you can't recklessly fire a gun into the air.
John, how do you feel about that?
Like any other normal person.
Any other normal gun owner,
Seems
right?
to make sense.
Yeah. Oh, I can't fire bullets from a high power, from my pistol into the sky?
Yeah. Where we have a
densely
populated area where you have 25, 40-foot lots, you have 80,000 people. I don't care.
The founding fathers wanted me to fire my gun into the sky, right?
Mm-hmm. The fact that we got to create laws like this is crazy. It just should be.
Yeah, and for those of those,
doomed,
just so you know, Mayor, I just want to make it clear that the ordinance does, of course, allow any discharge of a weapon that's allowed under state or federal law. So if people are self-defense or worried about that's covered by the ordinance.
Let's do this clip on Marjorie Taylor Greene, then we'll go into ads and we'll bring on Mayor
All right,
Emily.
let's do it real quick.
Emily from Zionsville will come on, but we have to cover. How do you pronounce her first name?
Marjorie Taylor Greene. Thank you for doing this because I thought this was just insanity.
So basically, this is her explaining what happened in Highland Park in the Highland Park massacre.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's what I have to say. I mean, 2 shootings on July 4th, one in a rich white neighborhood and the other at a fireworks display. It almost sounds like it's designed to persuade Republicans to go along with more gun control. I mean, after all, remember, we didn't see that happen at all the pride parades in the month of June, but as soon as we hit MAGA month, as soon as we hit the month that we're all celebrating, loving our country, we have shootings on July 4th. I mean, that would sound like a conspiracy theory, right? Of course. But what's the definition of a right-wing conspiracy theory? Well, by the way, it's the news that's just 6 months early.
What the fuck?
It's hard to.
MAGA month.
Yeah, MAGA month.
When did that happen?
Well, now I guess she just
month.
declared that July is MAGA month or July
so like
4th
the
is
6 years I served in a freaking United States Navy on board a nuclear-powered submarine, I don't get to celebrate the 4th?
No, it's about Donald Trump.
I'm way more of a veteran than she is. I served 6 years in the United States Armed Forces, and I don't get to celebrate because I'm not a MAGA person. And I'm not, by the way. I'm a hardcore veteran, and I'm a lover of America, and I'm a Hoosier. And I celebrate July 4th. It's my favorite holiday. Screw you, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That is so...
MAGA month. What a bunch of bullshit.
That is so out there. And I thought, the only thing I can say is both Mitch McConnell and then I guess they're going to try to strip her of her committee assignments if the Republicans don't do it first. But she's out of her mind.
So
she's an elected official.
That there were no shootings in June?
Not at any pride parades, apparently. It must be the gays behind the shootings in Highland Park.
By the way, doesn't she realize that this kid was like a total Trumper? He went to Trump rallies. He drapes himself in Trump paraphernalia. He got Donald Trump on his on his dashboard.
Whether it's Trump or otherwise, it's just don't. Why would you do? It's like it's just an extension of when people were like denying Sandy Hook happened, or the 9/11 plane didn't go into the Pentagon, or the Clintons are behind JFK Jr.'s plane going down in the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay, that in my opinion, we're talking about the crime that we created on the last show, the crime of ignorance. That honestly, Marjorie Taylor Greene should be charged with felony level ignorance.
I agree. That is felony level ignorance.
Okay, good.
All
We're
right,
all on the
agreed.
same page,
All right.
right?
Yes.
What an asshole she is.
Thank you for giving us time to play that.
Oh my goodness, that burns me up, man.
John, anything?
I'm just glad Marjorie made it onto the pod. That's all I have to say about it.
Let's do some ads and come back with Mayor.
I'm writing down crime of ignorance on my pad so that next season,
We don't forget about it.
because that's a solid crime.
We
I mean,
need like a most wanted wall behind
Oh, yes.
Most ignorant.
that's
crime
the
of
best
ignorant.
idea I've heard in a long time.
Crime of ignorance.
We'll put it over there, like the crime of
you guys.
ignorance.
Off of the camera.
All we have to
Off
do is
cam-
like
no,
a-
we can flash it on. We'll have like one that goes on there. We could say Marjorie Taylor Greene has been added to the Wall of Fame
Okay.
with felony level ignorance.
So we need this. We need the soundboard and a wall of
And
ignorance.
some shelves.
The Wall of
And some
Ignorance.
shells.
Get on that, Steve. All right, let's go ahead and do ads, and then we'll come back with Zionsville Mayor Emily Styron, who's going to finish out season 6 and in style. I'm very honored to have her. So let's go ahead and start this so John could touch base with the mayor, and then we'll bring her on right after we get back. So I'll start off with Mission Marijuana. Thank you for sponsoring season 6, by the way, Mission Marijuana. We appreciate you coming on as a sponsor, and I believe they're going to be at the festival also.
Yes.
And I know a lot of their product will be at the festival as well.
I don't think so.
Really? No, illegally. Illegally, I'm
It
saying.
may be illegally.
It might be
there.
smuggled in. Is the Festival of Lakes weed friendly?
I don't think
nah,
we
it's-
can
it's- I think the
confirm
police-
or deny
Is it legal to say
that.
it's weed friendly?
No.
No.
Have you ever seen anybody get arrested for marijuana at the Festival of Lakes?
No.
Me neither. So that's a sly way of saying it's weed friendly.
I don't think. I mean,
Kevin's like, moving on.
I think the police are there to
Kevin's
enforce the
twitching.
laws, and they would. If
Have
they,
you ever seen somebody get arrested for marijuana there?
I haven't, but I haven't looked at the.
I rest
haven't
my
asked.
case, Your Honor.
No, well,
Let's
I don't
move
know.
on.
Hey, the laws are the laws, and the police are there to enforce them.
Mission Marijuana. Are you looking for the closest cannabis dispensary to the Festival of the Lakes? Question mark. Searching for the best prices and unbeatable customer service? Question mark. Then
People
look no
cannot hear
further.
that.
Ignore
Stop
that.
into Mission Dispensary, located in Calumet City, across the street from the River Oaks Mall on Torrance Avenue. Visit missiondispensaries.com to learn more.
The Bug Guy Pest Control, Northwest Indiana's only 5-star rated full-service pest management company, would like to thank Mayor McDermott, Kevin Smith, and the rest of the Lockpod crew and listeners. Thank you for listening to our outrageous ads and giving the Bug Guy a chance to meet so many great and amazing people. If you ever have pest questions or problems in the future, just give Brian a call, 219-810-7481, or visit The Bug Guy NWI. That's thebugguynwi.com. Thank you, Brian.
Brian's just happy we gave the right phone number out for him.
Yes,
as opposed
and the
to
right
other people.
website.
You have to
Right.
pay extra for that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Bernie was shortchanging us, so we gave the wrong number out.
Yeah, all right, Bernie, you didn't pay your bill.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the
There you
number.
go, Bernie.
The Ron J. Prestomer Insurance Agency has been located for decades right on Indianapolis Boulevard in Hammond, serving all your insurance needs. They specialize in a wide variety of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. The Prestomer Agency serves over 1,000. Why is this on 2 pages?
No,
Serves
sorry.
over 1,000 people and businesses in all Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron, Ronnie, or Michael at 219-844-0103.
Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give us a call. Schedule your consultation today with somebody who is in court and at the jail every day by calling John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW. John and his wife Kristen make a great team. If you're in trouble or injured in a I'm freelancing here.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I don't know
I
why
saw,
I
when
did
I
that,
heard
so.
the stuttering, I knew there was some.
Just call 219-554-4LAW. That's 219-554-4529, or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com.
Challenger Learning Center. Teachers, educators, parents, registration is now open to book your Challenger Learning Center field trip for the 2022-23 school year. From simulated space missions to rocket labs, planetarium shows, and more. For program and pricing information, visit clcnwi.com or call 219-989-3250. Thank you to every one of our sponsors this season.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my proud pleasure to introduce to you a famous mayor in the state of Indiana. She is the mayor of Zionsville, the first democratically elected mayor of Zionsville, the first female elected mayor of Zionsville. Her name is Emily Styron. Mrs. Mayor, thank you for coming on Lockpod. Welcome.
Well, thanks so much. I appreciate the invitation.
Yeah, you're closing out the season with us, Mrs. Mayor. So it's Madam Mayor Emily. You're closing out the season with us, and we're very honored to have you. So thank you for agreeing to do that.
Awesome.
Hey, Mayor, this is Kevin. I was wondering, I saw a stat that said Zionsville grew basically doubled between 2010 and 2020. Is that accurate?
I am not a statistician. It may be accurate. It may be, it may not. But it is definitely a growing community. I think that could be said of most of the northern suburbs of Indianapolis. But Zionsville's pretty unique in terms of comparing itself to its northern neighbors.
According to Wikipedia, right after you were elected, the population doubled. So I'm running with that, Mrs. Mayor. So
next year, I've doubled the population.
Since I was elected, the population has doubled. See, I think
that would not be a plus in this community, just for the record.
You know what's funny, Mayor? I'm Mayor Dave Uran, who's no longer the mayor. He's now head of Convention and Visitors Bureau. Was the mayor of Crown Point, which is the growth of Crown Point is also a major problem there. So I understand where you're coming from.
I think it's interesting, right? I mean, where Mayor Tom is, right, and we're in Hammond, and people are always like, hey, we don't want to lose population. And yet there are cities and towns around the state where, expansive growth becomes a problem or a criticism or, hey, we got to slow down.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everyone that moves here wants to be the last person that does that.
So tell us a little bit about Zionsville and tell us a little bit about, your kind of rise to being mayor.
Well, first of all, Zionsville is a town within a park. It's a beautiful suburban area, really strong schools, and I think that's certainly what drew my family to Zionsville back in 2000 was just the fact that they had been very intentional about preserving natural spaces. And I was also really interested in living alongside of a rail trail system. I had lived and worked in Indianapolis and actually been deputy director of Indy Parks. I am the original Leslie Knope. And I worked with Ray Irvin and the team when we were developing the Monon Trail back in the mid 90s. Awesome. And so it was really, Zionsville drew us for those reasons, quality of life, really. And it's been a fantastic place to raise our kids. And I've always worked in the public sector. I worked for Ivy Tech. I've worked for the city of Indianapolis. I've worked for a number of nonprofit organizations. But I never, ever dreamed I would be an elected official like that. Like politicians were really who I worked for and not what I wanted to be. So it was.
When you were in Indy, Miss Emily, were you? Did you work for Bart then, Mayor Bart Peterson, as the mayor of Indy?
No, I worked for Steve Goldsmith.
Get out of here! That's crazy.
I did. So funny story. I came to. I'm originally from North Carolina. And I came to Indiana to go to grad school down in Bloomington. Yeah. I wanted to be a town manager or a city manager. I had no interest in staying in the Midwest, though, because it's cold here in the winter, and that's not really. I'm not a fan of that. So the plan was to keep moving out west, but I ended up getting one of my professors sent my resume to the Goldsmith team. And I got an interview and then a job offer that was phenomenal. I was the CFO for the Department of Public Safety in the 15th largest city in the country. And I think I was like maybe 28 or 30 or something. I don't even know how old I was, but it was ridiculous that was the job that I was being offered. And it was fantastic. I loved it. And I loved working for Steve Goldsmith. He was innovative. He was always asking, what do you think? How can we do something better? And that's just how I'm wired too. So it was a really tremendous experience.
So I kind of found it curious, Mayor, that you just said something, and I just was curious. You said, I never saw myself as an elected official. I worked for them. How did you make the transition from I never saw myself as one, and now I'm mayor, and decided to run? What made you decide to run?
Well, it's really thanks to Donald Trump.
There you go. That's a good reason.
We've got him to thank him for something. There you go.
Right. So when he won, I just didn't understand. I was truly mystified. And so I started talking to people and thinking about getting involved in local politics. I mean, Democratic Party here in Boone County I didn't even know if it existed, and it had this resurgence of people come into it. I read this book too called Run for Something, which there was a handful of books I was reading at that time, but that one really spoke to me because it had data in it showing that, and I won't get the numbers right, so don't fact check me on this, but it was something like 70 to 80% of local elections are uncontested. There's no competition.
True story, right?
And I thought, well, that's dumb. Like, we're Americans, right? Competition is our bread and butter. So I decided after reading that book that I would run for something, that I was going to put my name out there, and I was going to actively campaign, not necessarily for myself, but for where can we do better in our local government.
What made you choose mayor first, Mayor? I bet you there's a ton of people that told you to run for council or run for something else, but you said, no, I'm running for mayor. Because that's I did the same thing, which I get asked that question a lot, so I want to fire it off to you as well.
Yeah, I thought about town council, but I'm super bossy, and that just really wasn't going to work. I mean,
my town council.
I was going to say maybe the same thing. That's why Mayor Tom ran.
Yeah, my city council is pretty bossy though. They keep me in line.
Yeah. I had a really good job at Ivy Tech. Made a whole lot more money than I do as mayor. There was definitely a lot of reasons for me to run for town council, but I just knew that. And I have to admit, I really never dreamed I could win. So
I was going to ask you that next, actually.
Yeah, no, I was positive there was no way I could win.
So it was more like a protest kind of thing. I'm running just because I want to put this mayor on notice.
I want there to be competition. Right?
I wanted competition, but more than anything, I really didn't care about the mayor at the time. I wasn't thinking about what he was going to do or react to. I wanted the electorate. I wanted the community to have higher aspirations and expectations of its mayor. I wanted to basically campaign on a to-do list for whoever won as mayor, so that, we were asking questions like, why don't we have recreation programming for middle-aged women like myself? Why aren't we doing more for every constituent in Zionsville? Why aren't we concerned about the lack of economic development happening during one of the most economic resurgence in central Indiana? Why are we missing out on that? And that's really why I was running, was so that I could raise expectations and start to have community dialogues around how we can grow sustainably and maintain our sense of place, but still deliver more amenities and more opportunities to our community.
So when did you realize that you were going to win, or that you were on the right track and you felt like, holy crap, I could actually win this thing? When did that sweep upon you?
I think after I won.
You're like, what the hell?
Wait a minute, I won?
Right. I truly. We didn't have any money. I didn't do polling or anything like that. It was such
familiar,
a pedestrian. I mean, it was just really we knocked on doors. We held house parties.
Did people give you a chance at all? Because I'm running, as you know, I'm running for Senate. I know you know that, Mayor, and yep. I hear it all the time. People tell me all the time how badly I'm going to lose and how badly Todd Young is going to mop the floor with me. And I literally never read anything positive whatsoever. But obviously, we keep plugging away. Was it like that with you as well? Nobody was even paying attention to you? Is that the kind of campaign it was?
Oddly enough, I think that I had suburban women who were really rallying around me. I found a whole bunch of new friends. There were lots of people out knocking on doors for me. I never felt like I was going to win, but I felt like I had energized a community of people who wanted to definitely see more out of their local government. And from my perspective, that was winning. And so it kept me going, even though, I wasn't and he raised 20 times more money than I did. I couldn't do any kind of digital campaigning stuff. It was really very
awesome.
pedestrian.
That's great.
So
Yeah.
cool. It's refreshing for me to hear that, Mayor. I mean, you're really building me up, and I appreciate that because it sounds very familiar to what I'm facing right now as a candidate.
Yeah.
So as we look forward to your re-election, hopefully next year, and I'm sure you're running again, tell us why you think you want to stay in where you're at now. Now you're an elected official. You're the mayor. You're the executive of the city of Zionsville, and I assume you're running next year. So why do you want to stay there?
Well, I'm actually still thinking that over about
all right.
running again.
Keep them watching.
This is
There you go.
yeah, right. Like it has been tough working with a all Republican male town council. There's a lot that we want to do that we can't, and I just haven't made up my mind.
So
there's a lot of ways that I can be helpful in my community and in the larger community in terms of, the state, the Central Indiana region. And I'm really taking stock of what do I want to invest in for the next, this next decade. I've got 2 adult children who are fantastic and also, making their way in the world. And my youngest son is actually going to school in Indianapolis next year. His dad lives in Indy. So I'm just kind of taking stock of I've got a big old house that it's just me and the dog most of the time. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure. I just don't know.
We need Mayor Emily and the Democratic Party mayor. So if it's not mayor again, I would strongly urge you and plead with you to stay involved because we need more Mayor Emilys in the Indiana Democratic Party. I mean, you're a refreshing
Absolutely.
change. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would love to. I honestly, I would really love to help other candidates. I mean, I don't want to be a campaign manager, but I'd love to help other candidates. I'd love to really work on sense of place opportunities in different communities. I mean, I definitely want to keep in the mix of this work. I'm just not sure I want to do it as an elected official.
Go ahead, Mayor.
Do you mind if we talk about the incident? We wanted to bring you on because you're an amazing mayor, and we're very happy that you're part of the party. Obviously, you became somewhat famous recently with an incident about, I believe it was right after Uvalde. Is that true?
That's right. It was the morning after.
And you posted on Facebook, and you used some
colorful language.
Colorful language. And by the way, I've done this before. Also, you blew up. You were having an exchange with meaning blew up virally is what I meant. A guy named Joel.
I blew up actually too.
Well, I've done it before. Mayor Emily, I've been there. Believe me. And and you said what many, many, many mayors think so often, but they never took the action you took. And it went viral, and a lot of people would think, oh no, Mayor Emily went viral and she used the F word. But I think it cut across party lines, and there was Democrats that were strongly defending you, and there was Republicans shaking their head too because they want to see more of this. And
yeah,
do you mind if I read it, or I don't want to embarrass you?
No, please do.
Okay,
no, it's not. I am not embarrassed by that incident whatsoever.
I think it's awesome, personally. And by the way, I love having Democrats that cuss just like I do. So, it makes me.
You want it to be a bigger club?
Yeah,
you didn't want it to just be you out there.
Yeah, I was asked by Adam Wren. He said, "Who would win in a cuss-off between you and Mayor Emily?" I said, "Adam. Mayor Emily's great, but I was in the Navy for 6 years."
Oh, fuck that!
Let's go, Mayor.
It's down.
It's on.
Take you on.
All right, let's go, Mayor. So, hey, Joel Bardock. This is Joel, who is defending the Second Amendment after Uvalde, and we're so fed up as American public, especially as a party. We see Sandy Hook, we see Parkview, we see Uvalde, we see what happened in Highland Park. And Mayor Emily put to words what so many of us in America are thinking when this guy, Joel, decides to defend the Second Amendment. Mayor Emily says, Joel, fuck you. I'm so sick and tired of your stupid, useless rhetoric by jackasses like you when it comes to gun regulation. Fucking sick and tired of mass murders of our fucking children. It's time for the majority to know that gun permits and banning automatic weapons is common fucking sense. So yeah, fuck you.
And a lot of capitals, which I thought was even better. So that was good.
I love it.
I was like, the capitals are classic.
This is when it's great to have a podcast, by the way. So we don't have to worry about the.
So who's going to play Joel? I'll play Joel Bardock. This
Sure.
is great. Because actually, anyway, do you have it in front of you, Mayor? Or no?
No, I
okay.
don't.
All right. Then
Dang,
Mayor, because I want.
It would be way
and
better if you
talking.
played yourself.
I know. So
well, just,
Joel
you know.
Bardock says, Emily Styron, let me guess, English major, so eloquently said. And this retort could be my favorite part of the back and forth.
So embarrassing.
This
This
is
was
great.
the worst part.
English and political science and the fucking mayor of this town. I love it.
No, that was really.
So Emily,
that-
ever since then, you've been introduced as the fucking mayor of Zionsville. How many times?
I know. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was good.
I was pushing it a little too far with that. That was not, that's not my proudest moment in terms of the fucking mayor of this town.
But you know what, though, Mayor? You got everybody's attention about an issue that's super important. I mean, honestly, you moved the ball forward.
Yeah.
You did. You moved the
Yeah.
ball forward on this issue because when they see a dignified mayor, a smart mayor, a great mayor, the first female mayor of Zionsville, the first democratically elected mayor of Zionsville, lose your shit over a bunch of kids getting slaughtered, you woke people up. And I love it. I appreciate it. And by the way, Guy Relaford, who's one of your constituents, sued me in a previous life, and we beat his ass in court.
Good.
And then he appealed it, and then we beat his ass on appeals. So, like, you're my favorite guy, Guy Relaford, tweets after, I'm so proud to live in Zionsville where we have a dignified stateswoman like Mayor Emily as mayor, always willing to engage in a constructive dialogue, blah, blah, blah. And, I'll say that for you, Mayor Emily. Guy, fuck you too. So...
Yeah, it was very constructive from my end.
Very therapeutic.
So what was the, I'm just curious because obviously, we're up here reading about it. What was the response in your city?
Overwhelmingly positive.
It's great.
I figured.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it's
I think
common
that
sense
it
what you
was
were
funny
saying.
Because I think for a second there was some, some conservative voices that wanted to jump out there and see if they could make hay out of that. It did not work. And again, like, I think that you're right. People are just sick of we can't do anything about this. Wring our hands and say some thoughts and prayers comments and then just keep going on. I mean, because at this point, we're all sending our children to school wondering if they're going to be in the national news in the evening.
Absolutely.
Like, it's just not, it is a crisis.
Yeah.
It is a gun crisis. And if the people who are in charge today can't do something about it, then get them out of office.
That's
and
right.
put people in that will.
I mean, Todd
Period.
Young took $3 million from the National Rifle Association for nothing. That's what I say it on the campaign trail. What I mean is they expect him to do nothing when little kids die, nothing when
Absolutely.
churches get shot up, do nothing when parades are getting shot up on the 4th of July. That's why he got $3 million, to do nothing.
I know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It is, it's a single issue for me at this point. Like, that is, I just want to do anything I can, provide any kind of support I can to candidates who are going to put people that think it's okay to continue proliferating a gun crazy society or a group of people, because it's not the society, it's a group of folks who think that all guns are okay. There is no limits that can be put on gun manufacturing, sales, and acquisition. That's just crazy.
Yep.
And there's no way we can go back and talk to the founders of our country, but I'm fairly positive they would be appalled that this is where we found ourselves.
Absolutely, because we're failing. Democracy is starting to fail. We're failing as a civil
Absolutely.
society, and they would be appalled. I totally agree with you, Mrs. Mayor. And
I want to talk to Guy Relaford and say, if you've got a person of color holding a gun straight in your face, how do you feel about that?
Absolutely.
Because my guess is that they want guns for the right people.
Yeah.
I'm just obviously sick of the rhetoric.
I'm
and
sick of
the
racism.
situation.
I'm sick of the rhetoric. I'm sick of what's going on. I've seen it change in my lifetime. America's getting more dangerous. America's becoming more, separate. Like, we're not even on the same page when it comes to January 6th. Where our Capitol got attacked. And I say this often also, Mayor, when a right-wing insurrectionist attacks a Capitol, it's just another day at the Capitol. But if that was a Black Lives Matter protest, if that was a group of women that were protesting Roe versus Wade, I have a feeling Todd Young and the Republicans would approach it differently. It's,
absolutely,
there are people, so it's okay. But if it's a bunch of women protesting Roe versus Wade, string them up, right? Yeah. It's bullshit.
Yep.
By the way,
Tom, I'm just so grateful that you're stepping up to give us a choice.
You're so sweet.
Because that is what we need. We absolutely need passionate, smart people who see what the issues are and who are willing to put themselves out there, because it's brutal. It is brutal getting into politics.
It is. And, Mayor, you were saying about your campaign, about how you guys were outraised 20-1 and how you weren't doing polling and you didn't have any idea if you were going to win or not. You just thought you were speaking right to my soul, honestly. I mean, because, obviously there's some days where I'm down in the dumps because I'm like, how am I going to beat a guy that got paid off $6 million by special interests? And I have hundreds of thousands,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, even if this time you don't win, you have helped us find our tribe so that we can keep growing.
Thank you.
And I believe you have absolutely every chance to win.
I do too.
You're doing all the right things.
You're sweet.
But
Thank
regardless, we have to just run to find our people so that we give each other hope to keep going on, regardless of, what is out of our control that happens.
Well, I just sitting here listening to the two of you go back and forth, I can't tell you how refreshing it is to know how, we have such strong people in elected office in the state of Indiana, because a lot of time, as a Democrat, you feel like, man, why sometimes we just feel like we're getting rolled over by Republicans, but we need people like Mayor Tom, like Mayor Emily, to stand up and to basically tell the Guy Relfords of the world, go fuck yourself. Mm-hmm. Because you're out of your mind.
We know the title of the show today. Season 6 finale. Go fuck yourself.
DFY.
We're out. Mayor Emily, one last thing. I noticed, and I know you're a proud woman, and I looked at your cabinet. It's all women, which is awesome. And then I know you're super proud of the Democratic Party's all-women ticket, outside of myself that screwed up the ticket. But I hear a lot of people saying 2022 is the year of the woman. And if that's true, bring it on, because we have done the right thing as a party, and Mayor Emily's done the right thing in Boone County, right there in Zionsville, with a woman administration. And if it's a woman year, I'm very comfortable with that personally.
Well, thank you. It's I'm so happy to be able to serve this community, and I'm hopeful for the future. I hope that the energy that you're bringing to your campaign is going to continue to give the rest of us hope.
Well, Mayor, I can't thank you enough for coming on. I think the mayor's going to wrap it up right now. Have a great day in Zionsville and keep up the good work down there.
Thank you, Mayor Emily, and let's make this first of many appearances on Lockpod. You're right in our sweet spot.
Awesome.
Thank you, Mayor.
Sounds good.
Have a nice day.
See ya. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was great.
Tell me.
How's that for a finale?
I'm telling you, we're like Howard Stern-like with the interviews now. I'm like patting myself on the back. My arm hurts so bad. I'm patting. Like, Jill, Jill I saw like a tear coming out of her eye over there.
She's like, where has Mayor Emily been all season?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. It's absolutely what I was thinking.
I know.
Well, Jill's like, she's like, man, I don't want to be the only woman throwing the F-bombs on this on this show. So it was good.
Also true. I don't like competition.
What do you think, Vez?
It was great. It sounds like, I actually thought of the Howard Stern. Howard Stern gives great interviews, like no one else. And you got Mayor Emily to kind of hint at, is she maybe going to run for something else or do something outside?
I asked her that question. I was like, I figured she's just going to be like, yeah, I'm running next year.
No,
she's like, well,
man.
actually, I'm.
I have a feeling Lockpod might be in the news again.
That was Howard Stern level stuff right there.
Thank you,
man.
John.
Yeah.
We pull it out. We pull it out of you. We you're like laying on the bed, spilling your guts to millions.
No, it's a great interview.
Millions.
And she just I've seen her and you on a panel at a CLE that we were at, and I was impressed with her there. But I'll tell you, getting her one-on-one like this was awesome, because she is just such a great to me, it's just you get inspired when you listen to her.
Mayor Emily, we need more of you in the Democratic Party, and if it's not going to be as the mayor of Zionsville, it needs to be in a capacity where you're a big player in the Democratic Party, because we need more straight talkers. That's what America wants right now. Is straight talkers. They don't want bullshit politicians like Todd Young. They want straight talkers like
Tell
Mayor
it to me
Emily.
straight.
Tell it to me straight.
And like
you
Tom
know?
McDermott.
That's right. I'm not pumping myself. Well, I guess I am pumping
I'll
myself.
pump you.
But I just
There's
thank
your
you.
title.
I love it.
There's the
I'll
title.
pump you up.
I love it when Kevin pumps me. Why do you think I have him drive so often?
Time to do the. That's why
I'm
this is the
not
finale.
Pumping
The
myself.
only reason you're running for
I'll
Senate.
pump you.
Kevin can
Up.
drive you.
I didn't get up out.
You didn't get up?
I didn't
That
get
just
up, pump you up.
All right.
Hey.
And that's
job.
enough of season 6. I just want to thank everybody for watching LockPod and for participating in LockPod and for building us up.
Subscribing.
And people always come up to us on the road and say, we listen to LockPod every episode. We appreciate you. Every time I hear LockPod on the road, it brings a smile to my face. So I just wanted to say thank you to our audience for being with us for 160 some odd episodes.
Thank you, Mayor Joe.
That's perfect proof right there that America does have a problem. If you're one of those people like Mayor Joe that watches every episode, we love you, and it's perfect proof that America is sliding. So, John Vesmar, let's make it a point in season 7 to air on YouTube and to have a soundboard. I'll come
Don't
in
push
here.
him so hard.
I'm going to come in here. I'm going to set up a work day,
great.
a LockPod work day. And we're all going to come in here and we're going to do
Watch
something.
John work.
By the way, this is bullshit too. Look at this whole thing. It's
I love this.
It's been there since season 1. We need
But
to
it's
do better.
it's a collection.
We need to do better, I think.
It's a,
Truthfully, the break between the
an
last
acquisition.
season was so short that now that we have more time with this break, I can't wait to get off Facebook.
Right.
Screw Facebook.
Yeah,
We're going to
the
YouTube
swamp.
next season.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have to
it's a
also.
sewer.
Okay.
And we just got kicked from Facebook. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right.
Meta.
Yeah.
So anyway, John, thanks for everything. I know it's a lot of work what we do here. It is. We do let's say 3 hours of air a week, but to get ready for this is a lot of work too. So I just want to say thanks to John. It's a love that we have. It's not a paid love. It's a love of. I don't even know why the hell we do it, being honest with you, but
your
we couldn't do it.
Me
Your
too.
therapy.
Therapy, but we couldn't do it without John Besmar and all your technical expertise. So thank you, and also to Chris who fills in for you. Appreciate both of you very much. To Jill, thank you very much. You've obviously helped out a lot more in season 6 than Lynn's, and we appreciate that. Lynn's has been super busy at work during the summer, and
Notorious LMP.
we appreciate you filling in for us, Jill. And obviously to the Notorious LMP, she's a big part of the show. We appreciate both of you very much. So thanks for being here.
Sure.
And to Kevin Chandler, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Between Kevin and I, we do all the pre-shows, and it's a lot of damn work. But what's cool is we have a log of everything we've done for the last
And you
couple
get
of
to,
years.
what's really cool is you get to do things like interview Mayor Emily today, and get her on and get her voice out there for, the legions of people that are listening in Ghana and Belgium.
That's right. That's right.
Legions.
Legions of
Legions of Lockpotters.
Belgians.
Are we really going to name the title? Go for
No, I don't know.
I
Maybe.
mean, like
You
with
could do, like,
an
asterisk.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
all
could just use it for the C.
There you
Boom.
go.
There you go.
Or the U.
Or the U and the C.
Okay. There you go. All right. So we're going to use it.
I'll work it out with Kyle.
Or it's I'll pump you up.
No.
I'll pump you. I'll
Kevin
pump you.
pumps up.
you.
I'll pump
Kevin
you,
will pump
featuring
you.
Mayor Emily.
I'll pump you. Yeah.
That doesn't sound.
We got to
right.
have Mayor
God, I
Emily's
didn't say
name.
something
And I
that
don't think
dumb
Mayor
when she
Emily
was
wants
on.
to be.
No.
It was after Kevin.
Yeah.
I think she'd prefer "Go fuck yourself."
I agree. That's
Featuring
more about
Emily
her. As would I.
Featuring Mayor Emily Styron. Go fuck yourself. So thanks, Kevin Chandler,
Yes, sir.
for
That was
doing
a
a great
lot
job
of
with
fun
us
as
this
always.
season 6. And when are we coming back on, guys?
So I think our next episode will be the pop-up in French Lick, and
There
then
you
we'll
go.
go from there.
And then French Lake, and then by the way, so season 7 is going to be the campaign. That's
Yeah.
when that's the season 7
That's
theme.
not season 6?
Season
No,
6
it's
is
going
the
to be
build up.
this is the sprint to the finish line.
The sprint to the finish, season 7. So season 7 is going to take you all the way through election day, and then we'll go on another break, and then season 8 will be I'm going to be live from the U.S. Senate. Right?
Wow.
So there you
Think
go.
of the guests
We
we're
mapped
gonna
out
get
Lockpod. Oh my God, Lockpod.
Yes.
You think I'm going to change one bit?
Wait
once
till
I'm-
Marjorie Taylor Greene comes on.
Yeah. So anyway,
I
Kevin.
think you just won the election based off that.
there you go.
No,
I
think about it. You vote
I
for
gave you the
Tom
rubber.
in. We're gonna Lockpod's going live. from the
Lockpod
US
will be
Senate.
like
Final.
60
Don't-
minutes.
You don't want this to end. You better vote Tom in.
better
The
vote
beacon
Tom
of truth. Lockpod, the beacon of truth. Season 8 will be
Commute's
live from
gonna
the
be
U.S. Senate.
brutal.
I love it.
Anyway, thanks everybody for listening to Lockpod. We appreciate you. Thanks to everybody that makes it happen. And I will see you in season 7 from the Festival of the Lakes, or from French Lake, excuse me.
But go to the Festival of the Lakes.
Take care, everybody. We love you. Miss you. Lockpod is out.